That's nice, right? Yeah, it's hard. My family is all like teachers and government workers and, people with 9 to 5s and good jobs with benefits. And um, not a lot of people doing what I'm doing. So, okay, are y'all ready? Real quick. Okay, this is the infamous box, the Vaults box, okay, that I upgraded to a couple years ago, actually, on this channel. There is an old live where I upgraded my old Vaults box because it was run through and raggedy. So this is the new one. Get the vibes. Okay, so this is the new one. And this is the box that my beautiful niece Hayden was like, can I have it when I'm older, when you're done with it, or like, I don't know, when I'm dead, I guess. I don't know exactly what she meant. But she wanted it, which like moved the hell out of me because I was like, what? I thought I was kind of like making her like accompany me on this project of putting my altar together. She seemed like somewhat interested in the contents, but I didn't know if she was like really interested. I was like, come watch me put my altar together. And so for her to be like, I want that one day, I was like, what? So Vaults box, I find, is a very useful thing for a travel altar. They have these in a whole bunch of different sizes and designs. This wasn't my top choice, but it was like the closest to like what I wanted, like a nature feel. Um, and yeah, you can get like really small ones. This is like a medium sized one, I guess. But they are locking and you can set a combination to it. And I like these because when I fly, knock on wood, this could change. I don't know. But TSA doesn't bother them. I don't know if they can see through it clearly, so they don't bother or whatever. But I like that it's all locked up and stuff. So that if you check a bag and they have to go through your stuff, they can't get into it and like mess with your spiritual items. So, you know. So it opens up. It's got like a elastic up here for hanging stuff on. I usually tuck my picture in there. I always have in my altar an image, some representation of God, basically. And it will be different forms because all of the deities that exist are all just different um, iterations of different vibrations of source, creator, the all, the universe, whatever you want to call it. So I always have some depiction of that. And in my travel altar, it is usually this picture of Lord Ganesha. Because I'm traveling, I like to call in the spirit of um, just vibrations that are related to removing obstacles out of your way, clearing the roads, opening the roads. And Ganesha is known as a remover of obstacles. So that is my representation of the all. And that will go in the middle. I'm putting it under the strap of my altar. Yes, I love Ashira. Yeah, she's hilarious. She is absolutely hilarious. And yes, I think we all started watching her when she was Ashira Star Goddess, which I think she still has the page, but we see her a lot more as Shira 7, teaching women how to not be pygmishas and to not settle for these dusties. And I think that is a very important message for the world today. Judging by the state of podcasts run by men, Ashira is needed. Yes. Okay. You saw that bro who was talking about giving blue emojis to his wife who he cheated on and had a baby with somebody else on? Yeah, we need more Ashiras out here teaching the game. Anyway, altar cloth. This is a lovely, lovely altar cloth. It is so pretty, made by Hidden Crystal Tarot. Shout out to Hidden Crystal Tarot. It's like velvety. It's like soft. I got a little something on it last time. You're gonna burn your altar cloths, okay, guys? So just it happens. The fact, like when I grabbed a white one, I was like, I knew I'm playing with danger here, but it was pretty, so I just wanted to have it that clean white energy. So this is from Hidden Crystal Tarot. We have these in the shop, in different colors. We have black, and she's got a whole bunch of different designs, some with astrological designs on them, signs of the zodiac, nature signs, different things like that. But what I love is they're nice and thick, and they're so soft. Sometimes when you buy altar cloths, especially online, they're like really cheap and thin, and not these. These are really nice and thick, and she does the printing herself. So very nice. Actually, I had it folded inside out to try to keep it clean. Let's do that again. All right, so we have an altar cloth and then a depiction of God. That's going to start the altar off. Then I'm Wiccan, so I always have a representation of all four of the elements: earth, air, fire, and water. The water I will get at the house. I usually grab like a crystal glass, like a really nice fancy glass. Our parents always have like that like area where like all the nice stuff is you're not supposed to touch. I go over there and I find me a nice glass and I get some clean cold water and I'll set up a glass of water. What happened to my music? Okay. I'll set up a glass of water. Then for my earth, I usually just bring a crystal or two. I like to keep this selenite like wand pencil thing because it's very multi-purpose. It serves the purpose of representing earth because it's a crystal, but it's also a cleansing agent. So I like to have it on the altar to kind of like be continuously cleansing the space. And it's also a nice wand. So if I needed to direct energy or carve into a candle or do stuff with it, I can do that too. Oh, I should mention, to clean my space first, I do that with Florida water and with a cleansing smoke. So I always have a bit of Florida water here. And this is the Mama Agua. Is it Madre Agua or Mama Agua? From Sacred Omni Botanica. You've never had a more divine Florida water. She charges hers with Reiki, and you can tell. I mean, it just sends chills through my body. It is so amazing. It's her grandmother's recipe. Shout out to Sacred Omni Botanica. I want to carry her Florida waters in the shop, but she's been really busy opening her own little kiosk. So shout out to them. So I have Florida water, and then I also have in this little packet of incense, I also have a little bit of Palo Santo. So I will smoke cleanse the room, and I will take that Florida water, put it on a paper towel, and I will wipe down the table that I'm going to put everything on. Then I lay my altar cloth. Then I start setting up all of my stuff. Okay. So I'll have the crystal for the earth. I have my glass of water for my water. Then for fire, I bring some simple tea light candles that are already cleansed and ready to go, and some candle holders. For my air, I have incense. So I have a few cones. I have some dragon's blood and some, I think that's frankincense is the other one in there, and a little holder for that. And then I have these incense matches, which are really cool. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these, but you basically strike it like a regular match, blow it out, and then the whole stick burns, and the stick has incense in it. So it actually smells good. So I love those because I always try to remember to bring a lighter, a windproof lighter in case I'm outside or something. But in the event that I don't have a lighter, or in the event that I run out of incense cones, these are great because it does both. I could light a candle with it. I could also use it in place of incense. I don't know. I do not know what it is about what's going on right now with these podcasts. It's like, if you don't like women, just say that. Just say that. Just, you have another option. Just do that. It's 2024 now. Okay? Oh, do I sell what? The altar cloths? The altar cloths, yes. We have these at the shop. The other stuff I've shown, no. We do have incense cones. And Palo Santo, yes. But the altar cloths, yes, check them out. Shout out to Hidden Crystal Tarot. They're gorgeous. Okay, so that's my earth, air, fire, and my water. Then I make sure to, oh, good night. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to sub to yours too. Thank you for being here and all your advice and wisdom. I appreciate it. Okay, a bell. Not all traditions use bells, not all witches use bells, but I use them a lot. So I have a bell on every single altar I ever set up. For me, bells are I like to address, like when I'm shifting energy and creating a sacred space, creating a portal, I like to address like all the different ways in which I could do that. So I cleanse with smoke, I cleanse with water, I cleanse with fire, but I also cleanse with sound. And so a bell, especially like a high pitched one, is really great for cleansing the space and kind of it's almost like annoying basically to send out. Every bell is a little bit different, so I do have bells that have like a bit of a deeper tone, and those I won't use for cleansing. Those I will use usually to kind of like almost like an offering or as a gift of sound. You can cut like a sound bowl, sort of like for the spirit that I'm calling on, honoring, working with, or whatever. But this one is specifically a really high pitched one, and I use it to dispel, go away. Okay. Then, because I am a Wiccan and a filthy pagan, I have to have my pentagram. Okay. So that'll be in the center of the altar, usually right in front of the image of the deity. And then something that you will probably notice about me if you pay attention, I almost always have a necklace or some type of a representation of a key. I'm actually thinking potentially of like maybe just getting a tattoo of one so that if I don't always have to be wearing one. But I have a key here, this like old iron key. Keys for me are representations of open doorways. So that is a very helpful energy for me to have with me when I'm traveling, making sure all the doors that I'm going through are open to me and unlocked. But I also walk with crossroad spirits, which is not something that is the case for everybody. But in my spiritual court or spiritual team, as some people call it, I have crossroads spirits that sit at the crossroads. And they are typically either represented by or one of the pieces of iconography or tools that are sacred to them is usually a key of some kind. So I like to have their energy with me because if I'm taking a trip, I'm crossing through many crossroads. And so I want them to be with me through all of them so I don't get tripped up. And to me, it kind of like, it's almost like an ID in some way. It's almost like identification. Kind of says like, hey, I I walk with the spirits that navigate this space, so grant me entrance. I have the right key, so I am one of the crew. So tell me about it. It's just like it'd be too much. Oh, maybe that's why I like them. I was talking in one of the other lives about how I have for a very long time suspected that I have ADHD, and I've never been formally diagnosed. But I show all of the signs essentially of what is called inattentive ADHD. And I don't know if I have like some type of like a hang up about getting diagnosed or something like that. I've talked about it with my therapist. And yeah, but for whatever reason, I keep like not really seriously looking into it. But also, healthcare in this country, what? astronomical. Oh, and then the last thing, I always forget about this little pouch. I think it's so cool. They put Velcro on the back so you can stick it anywhere inside of the inside, which is smart. But so inside of my little pouch, I have 2 oils. I have a blessing oil. So this will allow me to bless an object. Sometimes I pick up objects or things, you know, sweet gumballs, acorns, like little natural items, different stones or whatever, or I might buy something. And so I will use this oil to bless it. Or if I am going to the graveyard or something like that, I will anoint myself with blessing oil. And then I have some road opener oil. And I usually anoint myself with this before I get on the road. And then again, before I head back home. It smells really good. And then finally, I just have 2 vials of salt, one of white salt and one of black salt. Because pretty much with these and this, I am good to go if something unexpected comes up. If I find myself suddenly going to a sacred place, if I suddenly find myself encountering an unpleasant energy, I've got my black salt. Especially because this is just like a general travel thing. So, like, if I'm going to a hotel, for example, I don't know what's going on. I know what to expect for the most part in my family's homes. But in a hotel, I don't know what's going on. So, I might need to pull out my black salt and trace the doorways and the windowsills. After cleansing it, I might need to prepare a cleansing wash of some kind for myself or a spray for the room. Whatever the case may be, I might need to perform an impromptu ritual or something like that. And as you all grow as witches, some of you might be already experienced witches, but for those of you who are new witches, as you grow in the craft, you will learn that it's really not about the tools. It's about the energy and your ability to first recognize it, feel it, and then harness it and shift it or move it or embody it, whatever it is that you need to do with it. And the tools that we have just make that easier. The same way a telephone is a tool that allows you to have conversation, but it's not the thing that's necessary for you to have conversation. To have conversation, you need to have a connection with the other person. You need to have the ability to express yourself, the ability to receive the information, perhaps the same language, et cetera, et cetera. The phone is just a tool that makes it easier for you to do that, especially over distance. And so all of these things that I've showed you, that's what they are. They are tools that allow it to be a little bit easier for me to communicate with what I need to communicate with, to send energy where it needs to go, or pull in what I need to pull in for myself, etc. So that's why little bits of them are beyond necessary and are more than what I need. And that's why this is such a bare bones setup. The altars that I keep around my home are a bit more elaborate. One, because they're in my home and they're permanent, they don't have to move, so they can be more elaborate. And who doesn't like nice stuff? You know what I mean? So you want to get nice stuff. 2, because some of the altars serve the purpose of, like, for example, my working altar. I do a lot of making things at my working altar. So if I'm making batches of powder to use in the shop for 36 candles, this is just not enough. You know what I mean? It's not that like it's less powerful. I need enough for 36 candles. So like I need a big mortar and pestle. I need a big container of salt. I need, so I'm doing more for more often and for more people. And so I need bigger things and all of that good stuff. But if I wasn't doing that, I wouldn't. This setup here could easily be the same setup that I use in my home. And add, how dare they? And there are some altars that I have that are dedicated to particular spirits, and they serve the purpose of being portals to communication with those spirits. And so, therefore, there are things on those altars that are not necessarily my choice to be there. They are what that spirit requires in order for us to have the relationship that we have. But at the end of the day, every altar that I have that is dedicated to a spirit started out as a much smaller, much simpler version. And over time, as the relationship has grown, they've done for me, and I, in exchange, do more for them. And so the altars have grown as they have shown up for me in my life, and it's gone back and forth like that. But it's definitely not a thing where it's like, I need to have this. No, the relationship started when all I had was the corner of, a coffee table and a picture of the spirit and a tea light, and now it's more, but the relationship started when it was nothing. So keep that in mind, that everything I just showed you in the altar is helpful, but not necessary. That's one. And two, everything being small is more than enough because it's not the tool that matters. Okay.